365 Radio. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Do it today by searching Sikkim 365 on YouTube.
All right, we'll have Craig's off the radar here in 20 minutes or so. The Rangers. It looked
Suck.
like...
Suck.
Yeah, so they were beaten. Remember yesterday I just randomly brought up that in the second inning of the game, what was it, Sunday, they were down 10-0 in the second inning, had given up 4 home runs, including a grand slam. And then, so this morning, I checked scores. I always like to, okay, what's going on? And I saw 14-0. I thought it was a preseason NFL game. But no, it was Detroit, that powerhouse the Tigers
the
had.
mighty Tigers.
Kyle Gibson, who's had an incredible year, is he the most tradable, most valuable player the Rangers have to trade, or Gallo?
I think it's him because Gallo is part of the problem is that Gallo has expressed interest in not wanting to go. So it's going to take a lot to pry him away from the Rangers. And where Gibson, the Rangers have to trade him. I mean, they have to. It would be absolutely insane to not trade him.
Why do they have to trade him?
Because he's at the max value he's ever going to be for the Rangers now.
He likes where he's at, too.
Yeah, but I mean, they have to. But Gallo, they don't have to because they have team control and all that. So Gibson be a nice rental for a team that needs an innings eater, and that's what he does. But, yeah, he had his worst outing of the year since the opening day last night. And
Kyle Gibson joined us, remember, about a year ago. No, it was actually more than that. It was when we first went on the air in early April. Great guy.
Yeah, I think they have to get rid of Gibson and just get what they can for him at this point. I mean, him being in the lineup doesn't matter. Him pitching every few days doesn't make any bit of difference for this baseball team. So get a couple players if you can. Although, there's not those big deals out there anymore. You're not going to see, I don't think, nearly as much anymore, those deals where you trade away and you get like 5 of the top 10 prospects. Like, those days are kind of out the window. Teams don't want to part with those guys nearly as much as they used to, and so therefore, get what you can, the best that you can. But I mean, he's not making any difference for you by remaining on this roster. Joey Gallo, I can understand he wants to be in Texas, and look, he's young, so he probably feels like I'll still be around long enough to see the turnaround of this ball club and play a major role in it, and I can understand that. But I mean, nobody would basically be off limits for me for the most part. I mean, some of the younger guys, I would definitely say like, no, we gotta keep these guys in place. But as far as Gallo and Gibson specifically, I think you get what you can for them. Gallo's obviously a different situation, but they're an awful baseball team. I mean, they're not even close to being a good baseball team right now. As well as the season kind of started and they hung tough, you knew that it's a long summer, man. Baseball season is a long, long summer. And so starting off, even the first 50 games, that's fine. But guess what? You got another 100. That means you're only 1/3 of the way through. So they're now just only halfway, and they've completely bottomed out. So that's why yesterday I was talking about that tweet I had seen about Woodard and, what they're going to do as far as the managerial position. And I just don't know what he's given you that's going to – I mean, I know that you don't go hire, some name guy and just expect him to be a name and to turn everything around, but they got to have somebody with a little something to him, and right now they don't have that.
Yeah, you're not going to get, for example, La Russa, or you wouldn't want him, or Dusty Baker, or a name like that, a guy who's been they're not coming here because they want to win now at the end of their career as established managers. All right, so the last 2 starts for Kyle Gibson against the Tigers, he's gone 11 in the 3rd inning and given up 13 earned runs.
So
18 hits.
So he actually had an okay outing the first time around then, because a lot of those games came yesterday. No, I mean, yeah, clearly doesn't pitch well.
And that's where he used to pitch, right?
Against Detroit.
Yeah.
So
No, he was with Minnesota. I thought he was in Detroit for some reason. Minnesota.
You're thinking of Kirk Gibson.
Yeah. That would be a long time ago.
Yeah. But no, I mean, clearly doesn't pitch well against the Tigers for whatever reason. I can't explain it, but, he got shellacked last night. That game was, I mean, if you are a Rangers fan that's so hardcore that you watch like every single game no matter what, I salute you, because I couldn't stomach that last night. It was bad baseball.
So what do they do, Paul? Does this, I mean, here's the worst. I brought it up for this reason. One, he got hammered, but here you have your 2 most tradable, most valuable players, and Aldolis Garcia, I mean,
He's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay,
in my opinion.
But there's a chance maybe because he's older, even though he's a Rookie of the Year
28.
candidate.
Yeah, so.
But Gibson and Gallo are your most tradable, valuable pieces to try to add more to whatever you have, right? Mm-hmm. To win in 2, 3, or 5 years. Gallo hasn't had a hit since the All-Star break. Now, I understand it's just, been a little bit. But at the same time, it's been about a week, and Kyle Gibson's been rocked the last 2 times.
Yeah, they have 3 guys that they can trade. Honestly, 3. That people, I mean, not to say there wouldn't be somebody in there that surprises you, but it's Gibson, Gallo, and Ian Kennedy. And I think you got to do. I mean, this probably hurts their value at the, maybe immediately, but a lot of times, you'll trade a guy, and just because he knows he's going to a team that's going to play well, he all of a sudden is good again. So and I think if they trade Joey Gallo, I mean, he's probably going to like the Mets or something like that, and a team in the thick of it, and we'll see how he does. And he's had a.
So you don't think Garcia, even though he's a rookie, his age,
he's cheap.
He's fun. He's exciting. You got to give people a reason to go.
Yeah, he kind of like when I see. Yeah, he brings a little oomph to an otherwise lack of it. Yeah. Man.
But they're just bad. I mean, they're just a bad team. They're going to have to change managers because at this point, I mean, you've seen what you've seen from good old Woody, and the roster's not getting any better anytime soon. So, I don't know what the plan is, but they got to be thinking about John Daniels and this is spinning wheels to the extreme.
Well, and it's Chris Young's first year as a general manager, but JD told us on the show that his job's not really that much different than it was. It's just now that Chris Young's there and it's separated, but
it's like, how many managers do you have to go through? How many potential trades and how many stars?
And part of it was that JD had a really good staff.
Yeah.
Preller, and
they're all winning in San Diego right now.
Yeah, San Diego. But I mean, his guys that went to Texas, to Chicago, and so once Texas got good and and went to the World Series, then the younger guys, the other guys underneath John Daniels all got GM jobs too, and he hasn't been able to recreate that staff since then as far as scouting goes, and they're not developing players.
Okay, you and I both were on the same page when the transition occurred and the infighting and the power struggle between Nolan Ryan group and the John Daniels group. I was of the decision, Nolan Ryan, of course, is never going to ever do anything wrong as far as no matter what, he's always the golden boy. And he's earned that, okay? I get that. But it's time to wonder, had they fallen apart, even though they had guys, they hit and missed. And Ryan, there's some decisions I'm sure Ryan had a lot to do with that they missed as well. But in the end, now here we are. I know it's been 10 years or so, or whenever that breakup was in the mid-2010s. Did they make the wrong decision?
No, I think the bigger thing I just mentioned is that A.J. Preller is in San Diego. I mean, that was...
But wouldn't Ryan have found another A.J. Preller?
He was John Daniels' guy. The problem is that Ryan's guy, Tim Purpura, is the one that started the rift. And so they had that. And look, I wish they had gotten it worked out, but, Nolan Ryan eventually had a ceremonial role for the Astros, but... He didn't, and he and Reed Ryan, I mean, they got sour with Jim Crane. So
yeah, they did.
Right. But I'll say that I'm not blaming the Ryans for that. I'm blaming Jim Crane because he's a sour dude. But I think that Nolan Ryan did what he did, and he deserves a lot of credit. But I do think that he got so much more credit than he deserved because John Daniels was building that.
He's Tom Landry of baseball in Texas.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but I do think it's probably time for them to move. John Daniels, I like the move of moving him into a different role, like Theo Epstein did with the Cubs, and he moved into the president. Now he's working for Major League Baseball. Maybe it's time for John Daniels to do something like that because, organizationally, they just seem to be spinning their wheels to me.
Yeah, So Gibson got rocked. Gallo's got hitless since the break. I believe it's hitless since the break, and so that was something I wanted to bring up because that's such a Rangers timing thing to have happen. Game 6 tonight of the